It's going to be a day today where the temperature is going to be in the mid-80s. And we have the sunshine now. And there's a chance that maybe some spotty showers could pop around at some point this afternoon. We think mostly holding off to the east. We'll find out. Right now it's 78. There you go. And then weather into the Independence Day. Going to be spectacular for Independence Day itself and through the weekend. Maybe hit 90 on Saturday. This is Charlie Rude in for Art for a moment. Art was called away. He had to take care of a task, and that's okay. Art's doing open phones this hour. If you want to jump in, 989-752-6111. In the meantime, I'm going to also take care of a couple of things to mention, including mentioning Independence Day. On Friday, the Art Lewis Show will not be here because we are going to have our CBS special with Gil Gross as your host. As we do on holidays, the 3-hour Gil Gross presentation for Independence Day from 9 till noon. So we'll preempt the Art Lewis Show, preempt the Focus Show, and preempt Terry Henney and his farm show that day. So that's from 9 till noon. We will also have, in the evening hours, as we have done for so many years, from 10 till 11, the broadcast of the music for the Saginaw Area Fireworks. That's right, we're talking fireworks time from Ojibwe Island, and at 10:15, for about a half hour, you'll hear the actual music that accompanies the fireworks that are blasted off on Ojibwe Island. We'll make, in fact, an entire hour as a patriotic presentation, as we'll include some other musical selections before the start of the fireworks. And then once the fireworks conclude, we'll fill out the entire hour up until 11 o'clock for Independence Day. And, of course, it is a Friday, and that could add to some of the festivities for people that perhaps won't have to get up and go to work the next day, as sometimes happens if it's in the middle of the week. Some people are already taking off and enjoying some Independence Day time. And if you're going to be doing your fireworks, just make sure that you obey the fireworks rules and regulations that you must abide by when it comes to the times and the days that you're allowed to have your own fireworks displays. And most importantly, please do it safely. And, should we say, respectively, too, for all those that you might be affecting, for neighbors, and things like that. So that's a good heads up for you and a good reminder. We're just finalizing some of that as we speak, preparing for Independence Day in just a couple of days. Let me take care of something else, too. You have heard perhaps some of the talk, but we're just announcing because we just started gathering the information together and posting it at WSGW.com. The Michigan Fruit Pie Competition for the Saginaw County Fair. Day one of the fair is going to be July 29th. In fact, Art Lewis will be broadcasting there that day, along with Terry Henney, too. And on the first day, it's going to be the Michigan Fruit Pie Competition that takes place. And that's presented by Star of the West Milling, Michigan Sugar, American Crystal Sugar Beets. And we are taking your entries right now through July 24th. If you go to WSGW.com, look for the Michigan Fruit Pie Competition box, and you can get your entries in, and you can participate for a chance to win the cash prizes. That's day one of the fair, July 29th, where, as I said, Art and Terry will both be broadcasting, and you can be part of it, too, because you are participating in the Michigan Fruit Pie Competition. That's what's ahead with a couple of housekeeping notes here on WSGW. All right, Art Lewis has returned from his task. Live radio, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Charlie. That's the way it works, folks. Anyway, good morning to you. Welcome to hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show. I'm sure Charlie said that. And we are having open phones for the hour, 989-752-6111. And we will get you on and talk about whatever you have on your mind to talk about. I pulled a number of things. One of them shocked me when I looked at it. This was in the Detroit Free Press this morning. Car buyers set a record with more than $1,000 a month car payments in the second quarter. I mean, that's a house payment in the old days anyway. I don't understand. I mean, and the loans are, 84 months. I don't know if I want to be married to my automobile. But boy, you take out an 84-month loan and $1,000 payment, you're married to it. You are married to it, to say the least. But that's what the stats are showing. The people are going for these longer and longer loans and spending more money. Price of cars going up. So time will tell. Anyway, let's get to the phones this morning. Owen is with us in Beaverton. Owen, good morning.
Good morning. I wanted to talk to Charlie Rood, but he's gone already. So
yeah, what's up?
I wanted to tell him about my poll I want him to do sometime.
What's that?
Because in late March, we had that big ice storm up north.
Yep.
And most people might have a radio instead of over TV. So I was thinking that if we had a poll to find out if people would like to have a 1-hour news special on the weekends. Just a simple 1 hour. You do your news, your sports, your weather, whatever. And then you can highlight a couple of events that's going on that weekend, maybe, when you're maybe at the Antique Festival or you're at the whatever. And I just wanted to see a poll on that one to see how many people would be in favor of doing that. So.
Oh, I'll pass that on to him. For sure.
Also, on Tuesday mornings at 8:30 after the news, instead of doing a Michigan moment, let's do a Tiger moment.
We do a lot of those. So,
I know.
As a matter of fact, every now and then we have on Daniela Bruce and some of the spokespeople for the Tigers. We do a lot with the Tigers. So,
I'm just telling you.
But yeah, I got it. I understand.
I've been trying to nail what day you guys do that on, because I listen to your morning show almost every single morning at work.
Well, we appreciate it.
So
we appreciate that.
And by the way, Matt Bond the other day at
Matt
your
Fallon,
Midland Country Club, he was absolutely fantastic.
Good. I'll tell him.
Usually I don't like different topics. When you're gone, we don't get an open line hour or whatever. And I think that he did a marvelous job keeping everything in tune. And I love how he said he was playing a rock in a hard place when you and his daughter was sitting in the same room. But so I think he does a marvelous job most of the time.
Well, good. We're glad to have you on board. Thanks a lot, Owen. Appreciate it.
So I just wanted to tell you about the poll idea.
All right.
I think that
I'll pass it on.
I don't know how many people would vote for it.
Don't know. Well, I'll pass it on. We'll find out.
Because when you have an ice storm in the middle of March like we did, and TV5 is the only station in the whole area that has local programming on local news on weekend now. That's why we should have just a 1 hour news.
All right.
News hour.
I will pass it on.
Thank you.
Good enough, Owen. Thanks. Bye-bye. And here is Ann in Bay City. Ann, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art. I thought I was going to be talking to Charlie.
Everybody wants to talk to Charlie. I think I'll leave. Go ahead.
Okay. Early in the morning when he was on, like a time between 5:30 and 6, every now and then he mentions, like, today is National Pie Day, or else it's National Donut Day, or what? Where is he finding this information?
Oh, we have all kinds of sources online and things we've been doing for years.
In other words,
you have a computer, right?
Yes.
Well, you go to your computer, go to your search engine, and put in national days. See if you get a list. There's all kinds of lists out there on national celebrations, and you'll find there's food celebrations of every kind. There's take your dog to work day. There's all kinds of stuff out there, and it's all available online. You just have to do a little searching for it.
All right.
But we've been doing it for years. I remember in the days of Listen to the Missus, we had food surveys that would tell us what every day was, what food we were celebrating that day. Every food has its own day, believe it or not. So there's all kinds of information out there. You have to sort through it to find out what you're looking for.
Yeah. Okay. Well, on the National Food Day, am I hearing you say that there's a National Food Day?
There's a day for almost every single food has its own day.
Oh, okay.
It's unbelievable.
Right.
And it's all promoted by the companies and things of that nature. You know, they create them.
Oh, okay. Well,
All right.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome, Ann. Thanks for calling. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
All right, we're going to take a break and then come back. We'll get to Kevin in Saginaw when we return.
It's natural to have questions.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW. The jury has reached verdicts in the Sean Diddy Combs trial. We'll bring you a report from CBS. It's a mixed verdict. There are some guilties and there are some not guilties involved. Here is Kevin in Saginaw. Kevin, good morning.
Good morning, Art. How are you?
Good.
All right. Well, what I want to talk to you about today, so you know how you had the mayor of Midland, Miss Maureen Donkers, on this morning?
Yes.
So I am originally from Midland, Michigan, and I actually got to work on one of those houses for the elderly.
Oh.
And it would be over off of Saginaw Road, Commerce Drive, over by the Circle in Midland.
Uh-huh.
And crazy thing about that is what I want to share is I was actually born with a disability myself.
Oh, and you were building a home for somebody else to use.
Yep, absolutely. I was born with stage 2 spastic cerebral palsy.
Hmm.
And when it was my senior year, and I got asked if I wanted to take part of the Midland Public Schools Building Trades program, and I absolutely accepted because I thought it'd be a cool adventure to take. And we wound up building one of those houses and building the access ramps and everything, and it was definitely a great program to be part of.
How, if you don't mind me asking, how are you getting along with your disability now?
Oh, it doesn't affect me at all, Art. Actually, I hold a current job in landscaping as a safety assistant, and it never slows me down at all.
Excellent. Good to hear.
Yep.
Excellent. That's it's always interesting to hear these stories of folks who have disabilities and either outgrow them or learn to live with them, and how they don't let them define who they are.
That's right.
Yeah. Good for you.
So, all right. Well, that's all I had, Art.
All right, buddy. Listen, thanks for calling and sharing with us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime. You have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye now.
Yep. Bye-bye now.
All right, we'll get back to the phones in a moment here. We're waiting for CBS is going to have a special report here in just a moment on the Combs trial, and we will bring...
Could have landed Sean Diddy Combs.
Don't know what that is.
And that is what the jury was deadlocked on yesterday up until around 5 o'clock. They came back this morning and they decided that he is not guilty on that charge. Mary?
All right, we will. That was a partial report that was for a local station, so we'll try and catch up with the CBS report here in just one moment. But the jury has come back. They have verdicts on all counts, but it is a mixed verdict. By that I mean there are a couple of guilty verdicts, and there are a bunch of non-guilty verdicts. The non-guilties on some of the more serious charges. So he won't be facing the racketeering and things of that nature. But there are some other charges that have to do with his girlfriends that they did find him guilty on. We will find out about that from CBS coming up here in just a moment. And then after that 1 minute report, we'll get back to our phones here on the Art Lewis Show. But for now, let's go to CBS and get a report on the outcome of the Combs trial.
Permitted to walk out. That is my proposal. The judge says is their application is for $1 million bond secured by 3 people. Defense says correct. Judge says he has relinquished his passport. Defense says will give to pretrial services. Want him to be able to go to Florida, LA, and New York. As you can imagine, the government opposes this application, so it's still unclear at this hour if Sean Diddy Combs will be able to walk out of the courthouse today and if he will be able to go back to his home in Miami at this point. But from these notes that Alice is sending, he does not have his passport. All his family is here, and that is what the defense is asking. That is the next step that the defense is asking for at this juncture.
All right, what they found, the jury found Combs was only guilty of the Mann Act, transportation of former girlfriends Cassie Ventura and Jane. He was found not guilty of running a criminal enterprise and 2 counts of sex trafficking. Yesterday, the jury had told the judge that they had not decided on the racketeering charge, but today they did, and they found him not guilty on that. So there were only 2 counts that he was found guilty on, both of them having to do with the Mann Act. More on it from CBS later on during their newscasts. Back to our phones now. Russ is in Bay City. Russ, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Art. I was just curious as to your opinion on the New Yorkers running a communist for mayor.
That's their choice. It's unfortunate, and it's he's not mayor yet, although Democrat nominees usually end up the mayor. However, this time, because of the field, it will be interesting to see how Mayor Adams does. He's going to run as an independent,
right,
and could take away votes from this guy, and the Republican could waltz in. There have been Republican mayors over the past, and
well, the last one was do you really call Bloomberg a Republican?
Well, and Giuliani was in there. Giuliani was in there for a long time. It doesn't happen often, but it happens.
Sure.
If you're going to ask me if I'd accept Bloomberg over this guy, the answer is absolutely. So
I think we'd accept just about anybody over the guy.
Well, we don't have to worry about it. We don't live there, but I just do not understand. I understand. Well, maybe I take that back. Listen, here's the reason.
Okay.
In recent years, they don't like Mayor Adams. He's had his issues. And,
it's when he rejected.
And so they didn't see
when he came out against illegal immigration. That was it, man. Democrats completely abandoned him.
Well, there were other things too. He was charged with some criminal activity, and even though he was pardoned, that still hangs out there. Cuomo had his baggage, so they didn't want to go for Cuomo. So I almost look at this guy, this man-mind, as winning the primary by default. And but one way or another, he's there, he's the man, but he's got some ideas that are just so far out there. Even
speaking of Cuomo, do you think he'll be prosecuted for the nursing homes?
No.
No? It's kind of looking like it might.
Nah, I doubt it.
Well, we'll see.
I
don't
doubt
know.
it.
I think what he and there was 4 other governors that did the same thing, and I think they really should be held to account.
Yeah, well, I doubt it. I doubt they will. Whether we think so or not, I doubt they will.
Well, I'll keep my fingers crossed.
All right.
You have a great day.
Take care. Bye-bye now. And here's Joel in Saginaw. We have to take a break here. Joel, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
I just wondered what you thought of the great, beautiful bill. I heard an interesting description of it. It was a great red carpet treatment for billionaires and a great deal more red tape for the common people.
I don't buy all of that. I mean, listen, first of all, I don't buy that it's a great bill for billionaires. That's the Democratic line. They've been using it for years. Everything is for the wealthy. There's a lot in there. That tax reduction that stays in place helps everybody. There are parts of this bill I don't like. I think that they need to, temper their attack on Medicaid a little bit, and things like that. But this whole notion that this whole bill is for the wealthy is a bunch of nonsense.
Well, I think it's interesting, though, that, the picking on Medicaid, and I think Trump does this regularly.
Is he picking on it, or is he picking on Medicaid, or is he picking on those people that misuse it, who have the ability to work?
There hasn't been too much evidence that I remember, what is it, the guy that he talked about the welfare queens, and he discovered that the welfare queens were something like 0.2% of the welfare people that collected welfare. And I think those things get around. And, I think the problem is that the news nowadays is so slanted one way or the other by whatever group is delivering it.
That's true, unfortunately. That's true.
Yes.
So, you have to, in order to really understand it, you almost have to read the bill, and I don't think half the people that vote on it read it. So I
don't think half the people that vote read anything about what they're voting for.
All right. Joel, I got to run, but thanks. Appreciate it.
All right.
Have a good one. Bye-bye now.
Cheerio. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
It's time.
All right, we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show. And back to our phones. Carl is in Saginaw. Carl, good morning.
Good morning, Art. I'm feeling a little cynical today.
Just today?
Well, I saw that the Senate passed this bill yesterday.
Yep.
And Lisa Murkowski from Alaska was one of the last holdouts, to vote yes. And she got all sorts of concessions and, let's call it pork for Alaska thrown into the deal to get her to vote yes.
So what's unique about that?
Well,
for either side. What's unique for either side?
Yes, but then, if you're a congressman, why at the very beginning would you say, "I'm going to vote for this"? Wouldn't it make more sense for you to say, "No, I'm going to hold out and see what I can do"?
No, because the reason, you have to understand her position. She is almost to the center. She's not a far-right Republican or even a right Republican. She's very independent. So for her, in order to get her vote, they almost understand they're going to have to do something. because she was not in favor in the beginning. And she's in
Well,
that,
it just
that
seems-
group that are in the middle that don't guarantee you a vote.
Well, it just seems like anybody in this position would have a lot of leverage because the vote was so close. So,
Well,
if
but
you're
you gotta
from another
remember-
state,
you gotta
why don't
remember
you
this.
say,
A lot of the Republicans don't like all that pork. They don't want all that pork.
but they voted for.
They
but
voted for the
voted
bill, but they didn't vote for extra pork.
Well, it's in the bill.
Well, and that's not what I mean. I mean, for her, yeah, but they don't go after extra pork themselves. They state their case. I'm for it or I'm not for it.
Well,
No wells.
I
That's
don't
the way
know.
it is. It's always been that way.
I don't know this. Oh, and the conversation you were having a little while ago about this bill benefiting the rich, it definitely does, Art. It is very heavily weighted. You know, the tax breaks for the rich, are dwarf what middle income and lower people.
Every tax bill the Republicans have ever put forward, all the Democrats say the same thing. Oh, it's for the rich, the billionaires. Well, I got news for you. I mean, that tax break is good for me. It's good for you.
Yeah, but it's really good for the billionaires.
All right. Well, I don't have that kind
Well,
of
it
financial
just-
jealousy.
Well, the system used to be fair, Art. You know, if you worked hard and you played by the rules, you'd get ahead. But a lot of people are realizing that's not true anymore. It's just some people get ahead.
No, it's
If you're-
true. If
if
you
you're
work hard,
connected
you
or
get
you're
ahead. No,
born
no.
rich.
Nonsense. You don't have to be born rich to get ahead in this country. That's nonsense.
No, there are a few.
You work.
There
No,
are
not a few.
people-
There's a lot of people.
No.
A lot of people who work hard and get ahead. Most people
No,
who get
the
ahead
middle
work
class-
hard.
The middle class is shrinking in this country right now.
Well, that's
It's not
the Democratic
growing,
line.
it's shrinking.
That's
Well,
the line.
Well, I'm sorry.
I
if the
don't buy
truth,
it.
You know,
No,
doesn't-
I don't think it is the truth.
Well, just look around. Just look. There's a concentration of wealth, in the upper reaches, and the middle class and the poor are getting squeezed. It's just,
All right.
if you just look around, it's pretty obvious, I think, to most people.
All right.
And yes,
That's-
there are a
you're
few
welcome to
people
it.
That, there are a few people that invented some Silicon Valley thing, and yes, they're billionaires now too. But for the average person, it's very hard to move up the economic ladder in this country right now.
All right. You're welcome to that
okay.
view.
All right.
All right, Carl. Thanks.
All
Bye-bye.
right.
Take a break. Come back. Sean, hang on. You'll be next.
Crystal Clear Hearing in Sac.
In Bay City. Sean, thanks for waiting. Good morning.
Oh, hey, no problem at all, Art. Good morning to you, too, sir.
What's up?
Hey, just to let you know, I agree with you so much, people calling up the bill and stuff like, look, it's tax cuts for all people, right? And I just heard Carl, he's so concerned about the middle class and stuff and Medicaid. And, well, if you're young and able-bodied and you're on the Medicaid and you're sapping off it and there's no reason you can't work, see, it's not cuts. There's no cuts being made. It's getting rid of the abusers is what we're doing.
Yeah, and actually, if they put in
Right.
20 hours a week of work, they don't lose their Medicaid.
Right. Exactly. What a great deal. So there's not cuts going on. I don't understand. And then, Carl, you know how we help people in the middle class and the poor? We don't let millions upon millions of illegals cross the border and take jobs, right? I mean, again, fake moral outrage. And it's just so disgusting. Everybody's freaking out. Stocks. Oh, tariffs. Tariffs have been great. Stocks are up. Maybe the Middle East now and the Middle Eastern countries can finally see a possible of some daylight and not having to deal with Iran being as, they're pretty decimated over there. They really are. So maybe the Middle East can finally, these other countries, Syria and stuff, they can start seeing the light, maybe just a little bit of some hope for the future. That's great.
Yeah,
Gas is down, groceries are down.
I agree with that. I'm a little less optimistic about the Middle East, only because, Sean, there's 2,000 years of history, and it's pretty tough to say to solve.